So hi, pleasure to meet you. My name is George and I'm from the TV Rebel and Backstage TV from the Czech Republic. And so let's spend some time together, man. So first off, how are you spending these COVID times, and what are you doing instead of music nowadays?
I've been doing a lot of reading lately. I'm an avid bookworm. I like fantasy, horror, thrillers, all types of different stuff. So I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of playing guitar. As you can see, it looks like you're a guitar player as well.
Oh yeah, well.
Awesome. Yeah, no. I've been mostly doing that and playing a lot of video games. Honestly, with friends online. That's the best way to spend time together during COVID.
Cool. Yeah, with some people and not just alone. With your guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
And how do you see, or what do you think will the situation on the metal scene look like after the COVID? Will we get back to the period as it was before, or will it be something totally different? Or what do you think about the future?
I hope it's going to be even better. I think a year without shows is going to make people want them and crave shows again. So
hungry for rock, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think there will be a boom in it.
Yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed for all of us, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So now let's talk a little bit about the guitars, because I'm very interested in that. So what guitars are you using, or what did you use for recording the album, and what effects, for example? And if somebody is a newcomer on the scene or young players and they would like to get your sound and your kind of style, so what would you recommend them?
I've played ESP for actually about 10 years. When I started my first band when I was 16, I started playing ESP. And on the Go Ahead and Die record, I actually used this black guitar right there hanging behind me. It's an ESP Phoenix. It's actually called a black metal series. I didn't get it because of that. I got it because it only has one pickup. But no, I love that thing. It has a pair of Fishman pickups in it. Sounds really good. And then I used orange 4x12 cabinet with a 5150 head. And my tone settings are what I call the neighbor of the beast. It's 667. So treble, mids, lows, 667.
Okay, cool. That's a good recommendation.
And then when it comes to effects, I go crazy with a lot of different things, but I primarily use a chorus, flanger, and a delay.
All right.
It's really all you should ever need to go insane,
Yeah, the sound is very cool, very tight and brutal and deep. So I really like it. It sounds great.
Thank you.
So the next stuff, I also heard that you're not only writing the lyrics for your songs, but you're also writing some kind of stories. So can you tell me more about this? What is it about? Or are you publishing it somewhere, or is it just in your mind and in your notebook now? So
yeah, no, it's a you could call it a hobby I picked up when I was a teenager. I actually had type 1 diabetes as a kid, so there was plenty of times I couldn't go run around with my friends and stuff because I had to keep an eye on my sugar. So the best thing that I could do when I was a kid was read. And so I love books. I collect them. I've always had one. My parents even joke when we would travel and stuff, we would be we'd be somewhere in Europe, like the Eiffel Tower, the Berlin Wall or something, and I would just have a book instead of looking at the sights. So as I got older, it just turned into a hobby, and then my friends and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, was really like, dude, please write something, just start doing it. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot. And so now I've been doing it for quite a while. I have 2 novels, horror novels, that I've self-published. So cool. It's not quite professional with my own editor and this and that yet, but I do have 2 novels. One of them is called Killing My Insomnia, which is kind of an occult, demonic possession type story. And then my second book is called Negative Legend, which is a supernatural, kidnapping.
Right.
type thing.
That's a cool title, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, everybody always really likes that one. But yeah, so those are both available on Amazon. If you just type in my name, Igor Amadeus Cavalera, you'll be able to find them there.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Where the fans could reach it, for example, if they would like to. Okay, great. So, is it easier for you to write music or lyrics? That's a basic question, but it depends on the musician, and everyone has it differently. So, what is your case?
That's kind of complicated. Sometimes I feel like the lyrics are easier since writing stories. Both of my novels were like about 65,000 words. So once I wrote that many words, writing maybe 50 words for a song became pretty easy. It's not too much of a task. Whereas coming up with riffs that I like enough to record and put out there for people can sometimes be difficult. You have to have all different types of inspiration to keep it fresh and original. So I personally think, lyrics are probably a little bit easier for me.
Okay, cool. And what kind of music do you listen to if you would like to have a rest from the brutal metal or from metal in general? Is there a time like that, or maybe yes? And then what would you listen at the time?
I actually listen to everything personally. So I mostly listen to metal when I'm writing metal. That's most often when I'll put it on is when I want to get inspired. But no, outside of that, when I'm driving the car or I'm going for a walk, I listen to a lot of 80s like goth wave and new wave and post-punk and stuff like that. Cool. I love the modern day electronic wave stuff like that. I really do like everything. I like some old 90s hip-hop and rap and stuff like that. 70s rock and roll,
cool.
Just about everything. Even the drummer of my other band, Healing Magic, Johnny, he got me into country in the last couple years, which I never would have thought I liked. But he showed me some cool stuff about drinking whiskey and getting into gunfights, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, But
yeah, then it fits, the music fits to that, right?
Definitely. Okay. So I listen to everything, but primarily I like goth wave stuff.
Okay, cool. So I heard you saying in one interview that you did the Go Ahead and Die album somehow like in the old days. So what can I imagine, like the analog recording or the whole band, staying together in one room and playing or recording together, or how was the recording process?
So I guess you could say it was an old school approach in a new world, So okay. It was recorded digitally, but we took some steps to make it a little bit more raw. So we got all the drums were done one take, as much as we could, to make them natural, without a click track, without quantizing and stuff like that. We really did what we could to get the drums natural as the basis, and then from there we just kind of took the same approach with each instrument. Let's not get perfect guitar takes. Let's get one that is good. If it has a little finger slide or maybe a little pick noise, that's okay. Let's leave that in there.
Yeah, I heard it there. I have to say, I heard it there, and I thought, wow, that's great, because nowadays everything is just like sterilized, in the metal scene. Everyone's using the same plugins and everything sounds the same. So that's also why I like the guitar sound, because it's somehow different, than the rest. And that's why I like it.
We use live amps with tubes and stuff, and definitely just an old school approach with digital equipment.
And that's, I think, how rock and metal should be. So, great. Cool.
Thank you.
So, how did it feel to create new music with your father, and how does it feel now to, be in one band together and to, do all this promotional stuff for that album? So, how did it feel for you?
It was great. I've gotten the chance to perform with him before, but it was always his music or something he had created. So to get to make some fresh, original stuff right out of our heads, it was great. you know, he's such a respected, you know, well-known person that you know, it can be intimidating for people to work with him, or you know, it can be easy to not be heard in the room or something. But he always made it a point to let me have a say in things, to let me have creative freedom with the band. If I had an idea, he never really stood in the way of it. You know, he would always try to make it happen. So all in all, from writing to recording and now doing press, releasing the album, we've just been supportive of each other and happy to do it. And for both of us, it's going back to our earliest like interests in metal, which is, you know, punk and old school thrash and death metal.
Audacious furnace! Rowless grain!
Okay, it's great. So, what is your favorite song from the album, and why?
If you
can say it, you know.
Yeah, if I had to
I know it's
pick
kind of hard.
just one.
I know it's kind of hard because it's like, you know, choosing one of your kids or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. No, I understand. No, actually, given some time to think about it, I really like Toxic Freedom, because of the song itself is totally raw and unrelenting. The lyrical content to me is a very positive, like protest type song that I really like. And then our performance was really great. My father and I, we both do these really gnarly screams at the end. They're like 13-second screams or something, where our eyes were just like popping out of our heads to get them, you know. But that's what I love is it has a really authentic performance. All the vocals were done in like one take. It's just totally like no filter, you know, totally unfiltered.
And how do you take care of your voice, or are you doing some practicing or stuff like that, or is just, you know, screaming and having the eyes like this and just, you know, doing it for 110%?
It's a mix, but I have my own method. Lots of practice. That's the best thing that you can do is to be warmed up. You know, when you are warmed up, you're less likely to hurt your throat or do anything like that. And then otherwise, just when I'm in between takes and stuff like that, I would eat like cough drops and drink tea and do stuff like that. And you know, no booze. That's always my rule. Alcohol for me just completely dries up my throat. But yeah, otherwise, make sure you're screaming properly, because that's important too. And it takes a long time to learn how to do it with your diaphragm. You know, but once you learn it, I can scream all day if I needed to.
Okay. So, hi guys, now let's make a little break, and you can look forward to the rest of our talk with Igor Amadeus Cavalera next week. So bye for now, George Rain and Backstage TV.